dogs here.
Some big underdogs, but ones, at least players we have seen make huge plays. You think back to the last time that Power of Evil and Ignar were at Worlds. They took SKT to 5 games in the quarterfinals in a very, very narrow series there that SKT went on to win the championship into that one, if I recall correctly. And regardless, an exciting match here. FlyQuest and Top Esports starting out the World Championship group stage. Of course, number 2 team out of the LCS. Back-to-back finals for FlyQuest. Top Esports also back-to-back finals in the LPL, but they of course hoisted the trophy in the summer split. They also won the mid-season cup, which was pretty much an LPL dominating affair. And now we get to see who can make this one happen again as bans come through pretty quickly.
Yeah, and this is something I want to jump on immediately here because there was a pretty big difference between the players that I talked to from group stage teams being surprised at the meta that evolved in play-ins, being so much focus on scaling and on team fights. And a lot more from the scrims from these group stage teams have been on top lane carries, on snowballing, and Top Esports are definitely positioned well to do that. But with 369, but even so, they ban out the Shen that Solo kept on blind picking for FlyQuest in playoffs. He was willing to play tanks top side, weak side here for FlyQuest, and was able to draw out that early ban. Now, Lilia first pick here for Santorin. I know Lilia got a lot of flame in the play-in stages, but I think that was more towards the teams and players' usage of the champion. FlyQuest have been very good at designing level 1s, going after those early Raptor invades into red side counter jungling. So Santorin having that one is definitely a big opening here for FlyQuest. Plus they get that Syndra.
Huge. So in the LPL playoffs, there was like a 75% ban rate on Syndra against Knight. You were not allowed to give him this champion. Power says, okay, it's time to bite the bullet. I need to blind pick mid because I cannot let you have this champion before it goes on too late. The counter pick is ready. Knight, by a lot of recollection, is the best player in the world, the best mid laner in the world. He is the reigning MVP of the strongest region in the world on the winning team. And Akali, though it can be flexed at top, is going to be the pick.
Yeah, Akali, if it does go mid versus the Syndra, is going to be looking for that level 6 kill, level 6 all in on the Syndra. So PoE and Santorin better be ready for it. Top lane is going to be the focus. Obviously, there's a huge advantage to being red side here. And this is something that the LPL teams have utilized very effectively, especially with 369 and the attention that he gets from both Knight and Karsa. So they're banning out some of the most prominent blind pick ones like Renekton. Meanwhile, FlyQuest also, they don't want some of the trickier counter picks that 369 has used for super hard carrying topside being taken away as well. The Jax, Fiora, Camille, those types of things as well could come through.
I want to see if the Ornn ban comes through here as well, because one thing that's happened in this draft is the first pick AP jungler, the AP jungle bans in Echo and Nidalee. It's almost like they forced Karsa onto Graves, and to be fair, most of 369's champion pool is physical damage. His Ornn has a low win rate, his Mordekaiser is only his 4th most played. If he puts him onto something physical damage, you play a tank top lane. There's the Ornn ban, of course, but I'm curious if they can get him off of magic damage. It allows Solo to just stack armor and survive jungle top ganks.
Unless you have to worry about true damage coming through as well. There are some crossovers there with the likes of Fiora. So we'll see what they have to blind pick for him, because it is going to be red side first choice here. I would expect it to be. I was actually expecting it to be support, but looks like they are going to go to the Camille after so many top lane champions have been whittled down.
What's interesting to me is that this is going to be the first Camille game of the split for 369. Actually has not played that one domestically, but it's going to come through here. Of course, is a very strong champion. Camille seems to very much be in the meta, as you're talking about, Kobe. The read is carrying through top lane. Top Esports, as well as JD Gaming, have some great top laners, so that's going to be one to watch for, absolutely. Solo tends to play weak side. He tends to not get a ton of attention, so that is going to be something that maybe stylistically FlyQuest might have to change. Thresh for Ignar right now. The hover is going to be a great pick, though. It's one of his very best champions.
Yeah, Thresh and Rakan, definitely the 2 best champions for Ignar. FlyQuest relies so much on his playmaking. Him and Santorin are the ones who create action for this team. As far as top lane counter pick here now for FlyQuest, there's not really any great counter matchups left up into the Camille, because Camille has started to run Grasp for the top lane ever since they had that nerf onto Conqueror, and it just makes her lane phase so much easier to pull off, even with the Volley Bear with extreme lane prowess here and the ability to take extended trades versus Camille. Camille can actually do a really good W sweep. You go land the slow and you just go in for the grass proc. As long as you don't let Volibear get multiple Ws off, it makes it pretty difficult to really take advantage there.
All right, well, the drafts are locked in, and if no one else swaps anymore, set support is going to come through. We'll have to wait and see if JackeyLove is going to farm on the Senna or just go for the Spectral Sickle, because keep in mind, since the domestic playoffs, since we've seen either of these two teams play competitive League of Legends, farming Senna got nerfed in how many souls were gained. We saw some split on farming versus, support Senna down there, so wait to see what comes through. But JackeyLove, of course, no stranger to this champion, has played it a fair bit, and we'll see what comes through.
Yeah, definitely utility from both bottom lanes, and that's actually something that Wild Turtle has excelled on since the regular split there for the LCS, when Wild Turtle was benched for a while actually by FlyQuest and Mash came in. Once Wild Turtle returned to the starting roster, he just excelled so heavily on a lot of these utility-focused AD carries. Jhin obviously brings the long range and snares that they can look for picks, and FlyQuest, especially as we prepare to head into Summoner's Rift, have prepared level 1s to great effectiveness in the LCS playoffs. So I'm expecting it here, especially since they do have Lilia that can annihilate some of those trash camps like Raptors and Wolves.
And speaking of preparation, I'm actually excited by this top esports draft, because you can look at the 70 games they played so far this year domestically and a little bit internationally with the mid-season cup. This is the first Camille game for 369 of the summer split, the second Senna game for JackeyLove in the summer split, the first set game for Yuyunjia in the support lane, the second Akali game for the mid laner Knight. The only person playing what you could even remotely consider comfort is not JackeyLove, sorry, but Karsa on Graves. So top esports coming out in their first game of the World Championship, bring up essentially 4 new picks, what you could reasonably consider 4 new picks here, up against FlyQuest, a team they are expected to beat. The power ranks have these teams very, very far apart, but it's going to be an exciting game regardless.
There's a reason that the flexibility of these players was highlighted by the analyst desk, and that just gives you so many options when trying to craft these team compositions.
Going to be a whole lot of fun. As you mentioned, though, the level 1s from FlyQuest. Santorin is the first Blood King of the LCS. There's about 3 junglers worldwide with a greater than 50% first blood rate. Santorin is one of those 3. Canyon over on Dom1 Gaming is the second of those, and I believe the third isn't at Worlds this year. He is absolutely a great early game player. He gets the gold leads, and that is, I think, the one player that can stand up here. I really do have hopes for Santorin to be the difference maker if there is to be a FlyQuest upset. The odds, of course, are against them. This would be, I would say, the biggest upset of the year if FlyQuest were to win this game. But
already setting the table, freak.
But this is the level of these teams, right? We come in with what people expect as the best team in the world on the right-hand side there. Top Esports had the last 2 trophies that they have fought over, and they're going for their third. And Summoner's Rift, the Summoner's Cup is on the line. Here we go for the first game of group stages in Worlds 2020. FlyQuest, the number 2 team out of the LCS, and Top Esports, the number 1 team out of the LPL, and the tournament favorites are doing battle here onto the Rift. And we heard from Solo and Wild Turtle. They said getting out of groups would be success for us. That would be a great Worlds performance, getting into the top 8. For Top Esports, if you saw that tease, the LPL wants their 3rd straight World Championship, and TES are first in line for it.
And we see some defensive warding on the bottom side here with the little pixel brush from Top Esports, and the hover there for the possible Lilia delayed invade. They went through with the early sweep to make sure there were no wards and placed a ward of their own. That wards ensures that they'll see if Top place 1 later into it, and will be known for the start here for Santorin. As we said, Lilia can annihilate this Raptor camp because of the AoE and the burn in the kit, also being able to kite very easily. This is a move from Karsa, though, trying to answer, dashes over the wall immediately to try and get the buff for buff.
I don't believe he was seen on his way over, but this is going to be level 2 versus level 1. If Lilia shows up to fight for blue, Santorin did not burn his smite. If he's here on time and the blast plant lets him do it, Karsa is going to be outsmited. He's going to be outstatted. Santorin knows the blue has been taken. He knows what's going on right there. And Karsa, you talk about level 1s in champs like Kobe. Yeah, well, it's gonna reset. But regardless, it is a full camp lead for Santorin. His entire jungle's up for him.
Yeah, and this very frequently can happen with Lilia. That's why people were so surprised at some of the results from play-in. But if you coordinate your level 1s for it, flash in though.
Already in, big damage of Wild Turtle. Gonna get flayed backwards. Now be careful, UNJ. He's down to 100 HP. And there's only cleanse on Jaculuv. He cannot be summoner healed, but there's not enough damage to kill him off. Summoner's blown, 2 down to the FlyQuest side, 2 blown on the top side.
There's no more potion left here on Wild Turtle as well, and the sustain advantage will be on the side of top esports if they're allowed to continue in this bottom side matchup, because there's plenty of regeneration in Set's kit due to the passive plus the healing from Senna. And with Jaculuv having his own biscuit as well, they will sustain the life advantage, but the minion push is going to be the difference maker there, as Wild Turtle and Ignar are going to try and get that one in.
Nice hook right there. Cleanse comes through despite the flight. Jaculuv's at 200 health. The flash, 1 auto! 1 auto would kill him. Wild Turtle does not pull through. He already burned the summoner spell, but that is still a ton of damage dealt there. It's another summoner traded for 2, and FlyQuest, well, they are on a ward. Wild Turtle's gonna go for the recall. Ignar is hatching that one. They're gonna know he's sticking around.
Gonna need some jungler intervention down here on bottom side. Freak, there are no summoner spells left. Ignar is the only one here. His flash is ready. He wants to make a play there with that thresh. So we'll see after bottom sides have been cleared. Looks like Scuttle Crab should be in the hands of Karsa as well. He finishes that up. The could make a pass through mid.
So we're off to early cull recalls for both bot laners right now. Karsa gonna just make his presence known in the mid lane. 4 camps down. Top laners trading back and forth. Stun comes back, and here comes a bit of damage towards
double stun.
But Ignar is on the roam. Knight's gonna get hit for a bit of damage. The flash hook guesses wrong. Now on the top side, who's gonna get the solo kill? It's gonna go to 369. 1-0 to top esports.
369 draws first blood for himself on the Camille. This is going to be very, very devastating for the matchup on top side. Teleports are still ready, so Solo won't miss out on any of the minion experience and get right back to it. But the early gold will fund the Camille build here, trying to get to that Trinity Force as quickly as possible. He goes with the Cole for an extra investment, and he's trying to get some extra dividends out of that first blood, investing it for the future. Here's another look at it. Did get the shield there for Solo, so he's feeling quite good. Got his extra W off, but 369 is able to continue through in this fight, even with Solo flashing the stun.
Yeah, better trading, better fighting by 369, despite the skill shot being dodged, despite tanking the storm for the shield and damage. It was still the better stats on the Camille side, so well done to 369. 300 gold lead, the top esports so far. Lanes in most places fairly equal. The CS deficit in bot lane is because there's still a wave to pick up for Wild Turtle and Ignar. But you've got Karsa slinking in right here. Solo flashless might very well be in danger. Stun's gonna be down for a while, but Karsa knows he's not spotted, knows he's gonna be safe, and Solo just getting whittled down the moment after he TP's in. Oof. And this is danger.
Yeah, this is very, very dangerous.
So dead. All right, he's got to fight with Karsa. He's going to get stunned up. There's all the burst damage you need. Already 2-0 in the top side. And top diff has begun, and the namesake of the team is already there.
And this is something you can see from scouting the LPL. Karsa very often spends his time top triangle of the map, visiting Knight's lane, visiting 369's lane. And with the summoner spells blown up on the top side, plus the first blood taken, very nicely done for him. It didn't actually take very much time at all. Sleeps into the brush there for a lane gank for himself to capitalize on it, and this is going to be a devastating Camille. He's not rushing straight for the Trinity Force. He goes for wave control because he wants to affect the rest of the map. This isn't a tech you can make on Camille when you get such an early lead like this. An early Tiamat, you can annihilate this minion wave and look to make plays later. Camille, because of the range with your hook shot, can set up plays for the rest of your team so effectively.
Speaking of plays, walking to the mid lane, but Power of Evil's already on the recall for Lost Chapter. Pretty decent first spike there. Same goes across for Knight, though, on boots, and a Revolver is going to feel pretty solid. Hex flash across the brush. Wants into this one. Ignar going to be shot up there. His flash is down, puts down the shield, but here comes the rest of the squad. A beautiful double root into the rest of the damage. Karsa finds a kill. Meanwhile, Santorin's been picked off in the river as well. Top Esports already 4-0 in 6.5 minutes.
The patience for 369 pays off. He waits in that line bush long enough as Santorin's clearing out the ward, and they finally strike. Taking down Bambi and returning to the top side without losing too many minions.
Well, this is about the way I think a lot of people expected this game to go. Top Esports, I'll say it again in case you haven't been paying attention, the tournament favorites, and you're already seeing big moves out of the top and jungle right now. Karsa able to lock down and get a pretty easy pickup here in this Mountain Drake. bot lane farm lead has been going to Jackie Love so far, even despite those recall timings. Has kind of maintained about an 8 to 10 CS difference over Wild Turtle. That's been going pretty nicely, and Carson just keeps the farm going.
Yeah, I mean, Top Esports have been on fire, this summer. They are the #1 team from the LPL, the 2-time world defending champions back-to-back here. Plus, they also won the Mid-Season Cup, which, yes, we didn't have the Mid-Season Invitational, but that being stacked with top 4 teams from LPL and LCK is why so many people have Top Esports at the top of their rankings. FlyQuest now, yes, they are in a hole. They're going to have to try and dig themselves out. You see Santorin looking to try and hover around solo since he still does not have flash and he's in a vulnerable position up there.
Okay, so for now, it's FlyQuest playing defensively on various sides of the map. It is actually some shove for Solo. He's got a small farm lead. He's not going to make it for 3 kills, don't get me wrong, but at least he's farming pretty well. Shoves in the wave, looks to roam, maybe contest the jungle a bit. Can't do much right here. Yunja going to spot the ward, and okay, not going to get much done. Controller drops down, and he's not going to get that mid lane roam. Ignar was there first anyway. Just trading farm back and forth in the mid lane. Small farm lead for Power of Evil as well. You kind of expect to lose lane a little bit as a Kali. No big surprise there. We'll wait for the team fights for Knight to really turn on.
Yep, and he's looking to use his ult.
They find a root, they're gonna find a sleep, they're gonna find the ulti. Should be a pretty easy flay, but the ulti gets him out. The stun's gonna land, he needs one more spell. Can Knight fall? Santorin wants in, gets the Q, jumps in, but Karsa's there too soon. And FlyQuest cannot buy a kill. Karsa's still in the chase, gets away from the Q, hooked in by Ignar, but the rest of the squad is there. A nice pull, land a kill for the support, and out goes FlyQuest, but for how long? Solo gonna ult to safety, and another fight goes 2-0 for Top Esports.
Jackie Love on the roam timer from bottom lane. You see Wild Turtle's alone down there at the turret, but Jackie Love, because he roamed towards mid, was able to arrive with the heals for Knight. He does not go down, saves his flash as well, despite getting chunked out and hit with that extremely long-range stun. And because of TES just playing so well around that mid skirmish, they have exploded in gold lead here. Only 9 minutes. They've got a giant gold lead plus the Rift Herald, which is guaranteed at least 2 more plates. And with top turret already down to only 3 plates left, you can also probably go get first turret bonus with that. Here's another look. Ignar, though, he's one of the players with the lowest duo proximity. That's time spent near your AD carry, so he roams incredibly frequently. He was able to get that hook to start it out, and PoE did have the follow-up stun, but as we know, the heal came in, Knight didn't even have to flash, and TES, they have been sacrificing some minion waves, mostly here for 369, roaming around to help make these plays, but the plays have been so worth it for them.
So Top Esports are the best early to mid-game team in the LPL. They have the highest gold lead in the league at 20 minutes, at 1,400 on average. They are up 2,400 in this game in half the time. They are absolutely dominating, even above and beyond what they normally put forward as the best team in their region. So TES obviously off to an amazing start right now. The aggression, I think, will not stop. They have the most kills per game in the league as well, so they're going to probably keep this one going. And wait to see as the top laners head to various side lanes before too long. We'll see just exactly what happens.
And the fun part now is, where do you go with this lead? When you have a Camille that is this fed, that went for the tech for the early Tiamat to shove the lanes, Teleport is coming back up right now, a few more seconds for 369, and you have so many playmakers. Level 6 now on set for you, Yanja. Knight as well with the flash and ultimate ready has kill pressure for himself, so it's all about creating this opening here for 369 to come collapse, and you basically guarantee a kill with your Hextech ultimatum, locking somebody in there as FlyQuest are trying to create some openings for themselves. You see this continued renewed focus on vision through the river and through that bottom side to try and make some plays off of Thresh.
Solo gets away from the stun, lands his W, but here comes the technical ultimate you talked about, and Karsa's now here as well. How are you going to survive this one as the ult comes in for good measure. Karsa blinds him, looks for the rest of the damage there. Solo ults to buy some time. I mean, he makes it close. He makes it close, but 369 is too durable. The kill still comes through. Assist credits across the board, and the Rift Herald is going to summon for likely the entire turret in his top lane.
Yeah, that thing's gone. So FlyQuest, they have to try and make something out of this. They know that jungler is top side, so Santorin's looking to make a bottom side play here. As you see the bottom turret on the mini-map too, Wild Turtle trying to force Jackie Love off of the turret, and Ignar's got the lantern.
First shot's good, second and third gonna go wide, and the slows aren't enough to set up for a flay. If he happened to guess correctly, maybe there was CC, but Jackie Love would have had the cleanse regardless. 3 plates taken on the bottom side. It is good to get something back, of course. But Shelly gets the second charge, top lane turret's at 20%, and that turret's gonna fall before too long.
All right, FlyQuest now, again, still overloading on bottom side since so many resources from top were invested on that side of the map. They do not rush on the Dragon, though, because they saw the resets. Funnily enough, FlyQuest actually had the highest Dragon control percentage of any LCS team. And they're heading here to Worlds versus Top Esports, who had the highest Dragon control for any LPL team. It definitely becomes a bit more troublesome controlling Dragon when you're in this big of an early deficit, so I don't expect those numbers to get any better for FlyQuest. And Top Esports going to take what is theirs, and second Dragon picked up without much effort at all.
And he's going right there, Car. So 100% kill participation on Dragons, and hey, pretty close on Champions as well here, 5 out of 7. That's a pretty perfect score as far as I'm concerned. And as Knight knocks down the top lane wave, of course, Solo, who has at least been farming well, but he's 0 and 3. Doesn't have a lot of tank stats. He's going to play defense for a while down here. Probably go for more of a tank build. I'm not sure he can ever really duel the Camille or the Akali in a late game scenario. Is down a level. Jack Liv going to grab the plate, and then, I love this, lets the plate gold go. Then Yuyanjia walks up to make sure he can control this one, but it means that he kind of lets his 80 gold go over to Jackie Love. More gold on the Senna. Farming Senna. 1 hit till Cola's done. That'll be good. And Ignar wants in for this one. This is going to be a 3-on-3. Flash is in, but Karsa's already here, and the teleport's coming behind as well. About to be a 4-on-3. Lot of CC coming across. He's sleeping, but Jackie Lives there for the first kill. Knight has shown up as well. Picks up kill number 2, and the rest of the squad shows up for good measure. A trade kill comes in. No longer a perfect game as Power of Evil finds a single kill. Knight burns rest of his ultimate, and a Lantern going to bring Solo to safety, but the Hexacle Beta comes across, locks up Power of Evil, flash the way to safety. A hook buys some time, a play backwards as well. The flash in, Yuyanjia can't quite get that kill. He's at 2 HP, and Solo finds his second kill. Flash to safety, but he's stunned up by 369, and the kill will not quite come through. 2 for 2 in that team fight.
Honestly, that is extremely good for FlyQuest, considering the game state right now, where Top Esports have been steamrolling. They come away with 2 extra kills for themselves, and that is FlyQuest still looking for plays. As you mentioned during the play itself, though, Top Esports were waiting for it here with Karsa in the brush ready. Regardless, flash in from Ignar. They try and make the play. He does land the hook, which forces the cleanse out as well. Santorin does immediately go down as Knight teleports in, uses the ultimate. But Solo here on the Volibear actually makes a huge amount of space for the team as Power of Evil is trying to run away. This Hextech Ultimatum does interrupt the Lantern, but that just gives him an opportunity to turn there. He turns and focuses damage on Knight and Karsa, separating them, allowing them to get the extra kill onto Yuyanjia before having to flash away.
Okay, so we look at the game right now, and it is a sad state for FlyQuest. 5,000 gold difference, very obviously Top Esports favored. But you can see the team fight prowess there. Despite being 0 and 3, Solo got more damage out than 369. He has been able to kind of survive, and this is really where he as a player has made his name for himself, is playing well from weak side. Gangplank was one of his more notorious champs, as well as a champ that you could just kind of leave on an island and despite the scoreline, put out some decent damage. So he will be a key factor as one of the only tanks in the roster to do anything. But otherwise, it's obviously a big uphill road for FlyQuest to get a comeback here.
And top lane was one of the big things that people were worried about for FlyQuest, especially heading into this group with a lot of teams that can focus on top side of the map. Whereas, as you mentioned, Solo has not gotten a lot of resources. Now, this all did kind of stem from losing the 1v1 initially to get the first blood for 369.
Yeah.
And his flash being blown in that 1v1 opened the door for Karsa to go up there and open the door for them to have so much focus. But he is going for the cooldown reduction garage sale sort of item build. I actually kind of like the Black Cleaver and the Iceborne Gauntlet build for maximum cooldown reduction for Volibear, because it does give you a lot of team fight utility, and you can continue to try and force. You get a bunch of ultimates, plus you get super low cooldowns for trying to have sustain with your W. Here we go, though. First tower for FlyQuest is taken down, and they escort Power of Evil back out. So FlyQuest still looking for these plays, trying to get some gold back for themselves off of the map on the other side.
Of course, we are still at a 5,000 gold difference here, though yes, it has plateaued. That is a number you're happy to have, pressed in the 17-minute mark here for Top Esports. They are 4 times their LPL average. They are certainly running over this one right now. Third Drake spawns in just a minute. And FlyQuest persistent damage a little bit low here, so an Ocean Soul is brewing in the next 6 minutes, and it's going to be hard for FlyQuest to knock down any of the Top Esports players if they do grab that one. We'll wait to see as the mid-game looms just exactly how these fights are going to look, because right now FlyQuest, yeah, that gold graph has moved pretty steadily down and right more and more in our TES's favor.
And I expect it to continue in that way. But if you're trying to hope for the upset here in one of these team fights, one of the greatest tools that FlyQuest have drafted themselves is the range of their crowd control. Lilia E into an R for a sleep can set up the long-range follow-up there from Jhin, Thresh, and Syndra. Extremely long-range pick potential from FlyQuest. The problem is that TES have so much vision control that it makes it very difficult for you to pull off one of those plays and for the team to be separated, because if there are the rest of the members of Top Esports there, even if you snare somebody, it's going to be hard to take them down.
Go. Dragon setup is here. The ward control very obviously in TES's favor, and they're just going to knock this one down. Karsa's there on spawn. Control wards pretty much everywhere. I believe that one's not in the brush in the pit. It doesn't really matter. There isn't vision there regardless.
Yeah.
So even the best, the very best in the world can make small mechanical mistakes, but not enough to matter here. We are 5 minutes from Ocean Soul to the 5,000 gold lead. TES looking to open up their world championship with a commanding win.
And now, if you want to do strategy from the easy side of the match, Freak,
yeah.
The giant lead that TES does have, they're well positioned to play the entire map at once here. Teleports are coming back up for both their solo laners. Knight and 369 both can easily gain control in side lanes. And what you want to do is push in these minion waves that allow you to collapse into the FlyQuest jungle, thereby cutting off all forms of income for FlyQuest besides the minions that will trickle through to them. And that way you increase your lead while safely waiting for your big payout of your Ocean Soul. If you want to get more spicy, though, you can always go for dives and try and flex your giant lead that you've got.
Bone Plating knocked off. You can see Solo playing the defensive side of this one-on-one, but he's down to about 70% health, so not going to have it easy time unless his turret is active. And part of that fight in a 2v1. Ward control coming through again and again for TES to make sure 369 is safe to split push. Control would keep coming down. The invisible ones have been dropped in that jungle as well, and FlyQuest do their best to try to sweep that vision away. Maybe at one point Santorin can make his way down without being spotted, but there is a 2-level jungle difference now off of Karsa getting so much farm as we've gotten into the mid-game. It's going to be tough for those fights to even go well.
Yeah, honestly, as I said before, I think the best hope for FlyQuest is Santorin continuing to throw out these seeds as at Top Esports. If they decide to try and play the whole map like we're talking about, to try and starve you out, push all 3 lanes, then you just keep fishing with your seeds, try and find a pick on one of the members that is furthest up, and there we go.
That is a hook. That is Cleanse not doing enough. He could go to sleep, but there's not going to be enough of a re-engage. It's going to be easily blocked shots right here, and he kites away because Knight could have hit him with the E. So no kills coming across. Mid lane turret's still going to fall, and that was one of their best chances. FlyQuest coming and making that play happen, but all they get is a burned Quicksilver Sash.
Yep, they're still proactive though, looking for those possible opportunities. And I really like to see the cooldowns immediately expended when they do have a possible pick here. Even with Karsa being able to escape that one, FlyQuest do try and fight back for themselves. TES though, the Baron is up. Oh, teleport, so they're going for the 2v1 on Solo.
Here comes the big fight right now. Solo cannot get out, gets away from the damage, but there's still a 2v1 as Knight wants the easy kill, claims it there. As a 2-on-1 kill comes down to the bottom side, these solo laners will not be stopped. They're both deathless.
And they could probably get this turret as well. You take down Volibear, nobody else is in position here to really rotate quickly over to defend it. So that is a well-spent teleport from TES to get not only a kill, but the objective afterwards.
There's a nice hook, there's a nice play backwards. Gonna be slowed up for a bit. The punch comes across, and now it's time to run away. And there's just not enough damage to kill a support without Aftershock, without a completed tank item. They just can't do enough damage. FlyQuest is bleeding out the map more and more. It's 5 turrets to 1. It's 10 kills to 2. The gold lead of nearly 8,000 continues to grow.
Here we go, we get another look. Hextech Ultimatum is used to lock Solo in place long enough for the teleport channel to continue. You see Knight using it from the top side of the map. As soon as they did see the Syndra sowing on that minion wave, and knowing that they have this pretty much in the bag there. No skill shot missed.
Not a single one. So, mid-game going well so far. Almost 22 minutes in. Ocean Soul in a minute and a half. And the gold lead has gotten worse every single time. I kind of punctuate it. Every dragon comes up. How far is the lead? Oh, it's getting worse than last time. Okay, maybe the last fight was one you wanted to win. And Ocean Soul is now 80 seconds away, and FlyQuest, unfortunately, not showing any signs of being able to stop those team fights.
Yeah, and you can pull off a similar play to like we just saw from Top Esports in multiple ways. You don't have to use Hextech Ultimatum into Teleport to pull off the 2v1. You can easily gain control of mid lane, push it out first, and have him just hover behind 369. You kind of trail the other split pusher. Currently, though, they do play the 1-3-1, a Knight on bottom side, pushing in that bottom minion wave, prepping it for themselves. And you see the Yanja here just sweeping and sweeping again. He's doing his homework. He's doing the dirty work here, clearing all of the wards, making sure that everything leading up to this Ocean Soul is in their favor.
Lantern forward, gonna bring their jungler to safety as the bottom jungle now begins to belong to Top Esports. A bit of poke comes through, can't quite knock off the edge of Night Veil, but PoE will lose his Banshees from a janky love Q, and the contest over the bot river begins. 20 seconds till the spawns, teleports come in, it's time for the fight, the 5-on-5, but somehow FlyQuest must find a way to win. Top Esports, though, in such commanding position. Knight waiting in a brush. Here comes the play. The dunk backwards brings in Solo. You can jig the big stun across the front lines. That's going to be a stopwatch burned already. Knight still safe. Finds Solo. Finds the first kill. Time for number 2. Gets it as well. A double kill now for the LPL MVP. Gets in a wild turtle. Gets right back out. A clean 2 for 0, and Drake is ready to be claimed.
Yeah, that's going to be Ocean Soul for Top Esports. See how quickly they can try and push in. Wild Turtle does follow it up with a snare, but there's just no damage left here for FlyQuest to try and capitalize. Sustaining 2 deaths here on both frontline members. They cannot commit to any further fights.
And Top Esports gonna claim that Ocean Soul, gonna claim the jungle for good measure. Wild Turtle gets 8 gold, killing a raptor. Nicely done, you got it back there, but honestly, this has been keyboard diff, hand diff, and even macro diff this entire game.
And we did hear, from Solo in the video right before this matchup, his main focus was on learning from these top teams here at Worlds. Let's take another look at the replay, though. Knight, they had just swept that brush, so you knew nobody was in there. Yanja does get the ultimate into the facebreaker, double stun for himself, and Knight kills Solo there after ulting over into the wall, saves the Shroud so that while he follows over into the rest of the members of FlyQuest, he has the relative safety of the Shroud, picks up the second kill for himself without really overextending or needing to use his flash again.
You can see the XP difference, of course. The gold one's easy to see in the top of the scoreboard. Thank you for the XP pop as well. Obviously, Top Esports earning more gold and XP income here as well. They've now got a ton of extra regen as well to make the fights harder. Now, a one-shot pick can still happen. Realistically, if you're gonna burn someone down from full to dead in 2 seconds, you're not getting much out of Ocean Soul, but that's kind of the only sort of team fight or only sort of battle FlyQuest can find for themselves. Jacklib playing safely enough, though, and look at this. A 2-man attempt. Set jungle very, very tanky. Graves no problem as well. Solo wants in on a 369. He'll get himself the shield, and the rest of the squad is coming across, but a well-aimed hook shot gets him away. 369 completely safe, still deathless. He's on 2.5 items. No problem at all in the side lane as the rest of TES show up to claim this Baron. Yep, still inside of Fog of War. Finally, Scarlet Bloom burn. Now here comes the attempt for the fight. TP comes in for 369. And will they disengage or will they play this one as well? A stun's gonna find him down to half HP. Ocean Soul will not reach until you deal damage to somebody, so knocks on a ward, gets some health back up now. Baron is still being leashed. Karsa's still hitting it. It's getting lower and lower. He can go for the smite pretty soon. Can Centaurn get his way in? Does not have flash. Here comes the team fight as well, though. On the front, they shut down Knight. Onto the back lane we go. Sleep on the Yuanjia, the Baron. Not going to be picked up, so it's a 1 for 0. The flash in. Turtle finds out the kill, but it's a 2 for 1 so far. In comes 369, and he's going to want kill number 2. On to kill number 3. One more for Jackalib. Finds it. The 3 for 2 team fight now, and it's time for FlyQuest to run. They stop the Baron, but the team fight still goes to Top Esports.
Ocean Soul giving so much sustain to Top Esports that after losing those 2 kills, they can still return to the Baron here. Jungler dead on the side of FlyQuest. Definitely a valiant effort from FlyQuest fighting off that Baron into the Ocean Soul, and they don't have too many choices left. They're still going to throw another Hail Mary here as PoE comes around the side to try and check.
Jaculav looks to spot out Power of Evil. He knows that Syndra is flashless and has to walk away in a 2 versus 1. He's still chasing. 2 autos will kill, by the way. He's running quickly with the Yomus, but as the squad comes around, Santorin blocks him away. Knight gonna not find this either, but Karsa able to very slowly knock down this one, picks it up. No sneaky W's from this one. Wild Turtle will not get that steal as the Baron goes over in top esports and continue to claim just about everything in this game.
And while all the analysts, completely expecting this domination from top esports, I think it is necessary that we do see this performance in game number 1, because I definitely saw a decent amount of fans actually starting to lose faith in the LPL just off of LGD's performance in the play-ins.
Yeah.
But very clearly, as everyone was saying, not related to the entire region, not related to top esports. Firing on all cylinders here, performing at the very top. Let's take a look here, though, FlyQuest, because considering the gold deficit that they are in and facing the Ocean Soul, look at how they actually play this team fight to acquire a couple kills for themselves. So Karsa, with the Ocean Soul, knows he can just keep leashing this Baron. They're looking for the opening to try and get one of these key members here for FlyQuest, and once Knight decides to go in, he just gets immediately popped by Power Beat. And that's one of the big plays here for FlyQuest that make this as close as it even was. Turtle then flashing in. 369 says, I've got a flash too. Immediately flash follows to get that stun onto Turtle. In exchange here, we're back to live with the Baron buff.
That was really clean. The hookshot flash, get it around Ignar. Oh, Turtle keep him in there. Says, hold on. I'll clear you support first, then I'll finish you off later, and gets them all for it. That was beautiful. Now Solo dropped dangerously low. Gets a shield, walks away, but he's almost tower diveable. Top lane's gonna fall for sure. Inhibitor laid bare on the top side. Knight still splitting in the bottom lane. Level 16 on the Akali. Very dangerous down there as top esports looks to close this game out in about 30 minutes right here. 13,500 gold lead. Ocean Soul, Baron buff still on for a minute and change. As Knight is just unanswerable. No one can handle this champion. Now into the top side, a bit of a root. 369 wants in again. That is a large chunk of health down. Immunes it with the ulti. Now on towards the damage. They will just barely knock him down, a 1 for 0. The re-engage on the UNGR. They should knock him down as well. He flashes. Is it going to be enough? He dukes away. He's degenning and he will burn down Ludenzek with the last hit. So it's a 5v3 inside the base, but FlyQuest have already lost 2 inhibitors. The re-engage comes in. They knock off Karsa's shield. They won't get much more for this one. And top esports still feel very safe. Knight could 1v2 this easily.
Yeah, and they are surrounded by minions as well for FlyQuest. So the Baron buff here on 3 members of TES, they're still confident to keep up the pressure. 1 inhibitor left standing here for FlyQuest as they make another good counter punch to try and force TES out of the base, but Knight's not done.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to his Shroud. Nice little play there. It's just for good measure. Just want to test you. Maybe burn a summoner. Nothing. That's fine. Out we go. Easy wave clear. Let's reset and play for the next one. Baron's going to time out in 15 seconds. Ocean Soul lives forever. And hey, as the recalls come through and the respawns come up, Elder Dragon's in 12 seconds.
All right, so this is it. Do FlyQuest try and throw everything at this Elder Dragon?
Yes.
And just gamble the game? Because if you don't gamble the game, you have like a 0.1% chance to win by hoping for a big mistake inside the base.
Yeah.
But it's a lot bigger there around the Elder Dragon, which we'll get to after the replay. Here is them trying to take advantage. They got 2 members focused down from TES and were able to fend them off for a little while. But time is not in FlyQuest's favor because of the super minions that are going to be swarming into the base. They just have to rush it. This is a very bad position to be in, but you have to force.
Well, mid's been pushed in, so Knight could just go to end the game into the mid lane and force the retreat out from the squad as there's a lot of brushes to hide in. Cars are going to walk around, starts the Elder Dragon, and time is getting low. Time is getting lower and lower. A big pick right there, nearly knocks down 1. Knight's coming across with the flank. Already Santorin is gone. How about the re-engage? Ignar flashing over the wall. Knight is on the chase. He's going to find some marks. He's going to find some gold. He's going to find some kills. There's the unstoppable kill for Karsa. Solo's next up on the board. He's not going to survive this one. Knight's going to be in range for a Q in a second. Gets with the auto attack and a 3-for-0 cleanly and easily in the FlyQuest jungle. It's time for top esports to close this game out the way people expected. A commanding victory over FlyQuest. Top esports determined favorites. 369 dives on the fountain for good measure. KDA Stacks trying to come through. He will die again to the fountain. The sturdiest member for FlyQuest will find a single kill, but Wild Turtle is left alone to watch as his base will drop. The turrets will fall, and with 1 HP left, even the AD carry will live. The shots come through. They're not going to matter. Top esports start the World Championship group stage with a dominating win over FlyQuest.
Last year, Knight was the greatest player not to attend Worlds yet. And congratulations now, as you are both at Worlds and undefeated.
I will say, he is now the best player at Worlds, most likely for Knight's sake. Congratulations there. We will probably see many more of these over the weeks in the days to come, as they're going to go ahead and bow to the audience and maybe walk over and fist bump FlyQuest. We'll see. Still an incredibly well-played game. The top lane 1v1 around level 4 was obviously very, very good. 369 did a great job there. Karsa showed up for round 2. They continued their domination, and then as the game split up, FlyQuest had some decent looks. They had some good moments. They would pile onto one champion, kill them with Syndra ult, found a couple of decent team fights, but it was never really close. I believe a single turret was taken all game long. The second Rift Herald, no Drakes, no Barons. The macro game very obviously belonged to Top Esports.
Yeah, Top Esports did a really good job with the advantages that they're able to earn through their individuals. Top 1v1, 4-3-6-9.